welcome to Christian Views on theway.co.uk. Over the next few minutes, we'll be taking a look at news headlines with a biblical perspective. The release of the new Grand Theft Auto game has been met with a heavy amount of criticism as a result of its extremely violent nature. Now, the game is rated 18, but it is readily accessible by teenagers below the age of 18. The video game has been criticized for being extremely violent and promoting the desensitization of violence. It is also likely that it will play an increase in there being an increase in mass shootings and violent crimes in society. Just 2 days ago, we heard of a 15-year-old boy robbing a bank. Now, the presiding judge is of the impression that he did so as a result of him enacting what he'd seen on the violent video game. The Association of Teachers and Lecturers have also expressed concern at the violence in these video games, suggesting that the video games are fueling violence amongst primary school children. Aaron Alexis, the gunman who killed 12 people on a rampage at the Washington Naval Base, was a regular player of violent video games such as Call of Duty and Resident Evil. The dangers associated with these games are evident, and parents need to play a more prominent role in the video games that their children play. The level of violence in the video games and the length of time should also be critiqued by parents. We take a look at biblical insight into this, and today we'll be looking at the passage of Luke 11:34, which speaks about the eye being the lamp of the body. A Christian teacher claims that she was forced out of a Muslim school for refusing to follow an extremely strict dress code. A 50-year-old teacher with 20 years' experience in teaching was asked to cover her entire body and cover any other symbols of faith. She stated that girls in the school were asked to sit at the back of the classroom while boys towards the front, and that singing and musical instruments were also banned from the school. The teacher, who chose not to be named, only joined the school because she believed it to be a multi-faith free school. In the months that followed, she faced oppression, prejudice, and marginalization by a largely Muslim school board. The demanding dress code was imposed on teachers regardless of their faith, and one only has to question why this is so when Christian public schools do not impose any such restrictions on people from other faiths. News channels have recently covered stories about the pornification of children. Now, this has followed the performance of Miley Cyrus at the MTV VMA Awards. The dance produced a new routine called twerking, which has been embraced by celebrities all over the world. The dance promotes the objectification of women in a sex act. This has been mimicked by Princess Beatrice in the UK recently as well. Described as the pornification of society, teachers and parents alike are concerned that moral boundaries have reached the other end of the spectrum, where the performance of a sex act during a song is no longer met with shock. Concerns that pornography is also being normalized in society and in the schools have been expressed by teachers. The effects of pornography materialized when a 12-year-old boy raped a 6-year-old girl recently in the news. There is a dire need for our society to return to biblical teaching on sex education, and for our churches to have more counseling for those struggling with pornography. We can find biblical reference to this in 2 Timothy 3:1 and 2 Timothy 2:22. Little is being done by the Pakistan government about blasphemy laws, where a mere accusation could cause an entire mob to attack a whole Christian village en masse. Nigeria and Egypt are other countries where Christians are being heavily persecuted by Muslim majority. The UN has reported that 100,000 Christians are martyred every year, and that this figure is rapidly increasing. The UK Church needs to offer more support to persecuted Christians around the world, rallying and supporting them financially and prayerfully as well. For the Bible says that anyone who wants to lead a godly life will be persecuted, and we need to be more vocal about the persecution of Christians around the world. Well, that's all we have for this week. Thank you for joining us on Christian Views with theway.co.uk.